Hi guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. Now in this one we're just going to be looking at a load of 3D printed and resin bodies. Pretty much all of them are British cars, to be quite honest with you. And I've kind of amassed all these quite recently. There's very few that I've had for a long time, to be quite honest with you. But I worked into the small scale group build a little bit of an extra build using a 3D printed body, and a lot of what we're going to see is from the same seller who prints these, and they're really good quality, to be quite fair. But yeah, I thought we'd look at the other bits and pieces we've got in, well, I've got at the moment anyway. And to be quite honest, you know, it's still quite hard to get that kind of stuff over here. And for many, many years, really the only British body we had was this thing in front of us. This was a Mk11 Zodiac, and this has been around, I think, since the late 80s, early 90s, to be quite honest with you. And I really can't remember who mastered this. But they started with, I know they started with a 55 Chevy, an AMC 55 Chevy, and to be quite fair, you know, that's kept us going for many, many years, this whole thing. And to be quite fair, I had one of these for years, and I probably sold it 5-6 years ago because it was just sat on the shelf. I was never going to do anything with it. And I knew I was going to do this video at some point, you know, for reasons we'll go into very shortly, but, you know, just so happened one of these came up out of the blue on eBay. And it sold for next to nothing, so I thought it'd be a nice little bit of an addition to throw into this one. But yeah, I think this one suffers with the same kind of faults, minded, the one I had. And you know, you always found it was the grills were chipped away and what have you. But it was a really nice body, to be quite fair. Really nice, well proportioned body. Seen a lot of great builds done out of them. A lot of slammer type builds, curbside type builds have been done out of these. You know, because I think they are a lot of work to do anything more to them, to be quite fair. And you know, this is very basic casting from back in the day, I think, but you know, still pretty clean. This one's actually a lot cleaner than the one I had. I think there isn't as many dimples and air holes in as, you know, I think it's pretty straight with not much of that at all, to be quite fair. But yeah, that was, everybody in the UK who's in the hobby, especially this side of the hobby, will know this body here. But yeah, we were kind of stuck with that for many years, and it wasn't until recently I saw a chap on one of the Facebook pages who was printed a few bodies for himself, at the same type of car, and he wasn't asking a great deal for him. So I did ask him, I did send him a message, see if he had any left. I know he's only printed a few. And a chap called Andrew Milner, really nice guy, to be quite fair. And I did ask him if he could do another couple of bodies for me, similar cars. We'll go into them shortly as well. But yeah, I mean, this chap, he was, you know, he's so nice, and to be quite fair, and you know, I did ask him to see if he could get some stock wheel, like print some stock wheels, and he was trying his hardest to print them out, but I don't think they were coming out right. But you know, this is what we got in the end. You know, this is like home 3D printing, so you know, considering that, I think it's really nice, to be quite honest with you. I mean, with all these things, they need a lot of work, and you know, with the print lines, you're not going to get a nice model just by throwing a coat of primer at it and throwing some paint at it. You know, there will be a lot of work in these. But yeah, I mean, I think this one's more 1/24th, but you know, to be quite fair, I think it's a nicer body, to be quite honest, than the one we had. And yeah, there is a bit of a size difference. Like, I mean, I think we are actually going in sort of, because this was probably really accurate to 1/25th. But I think we're kind of on the 1/24th to 1/22nd scale, but you know, next to other 1/24th cars, this looks bob on, to be quite fair. I think that's the thing with 3D printing, you know, it's the scales are about there, and you know, you can use all your 1/24th wheels on it, and it's definitely good enough for me. But a really nice detail on it, you know, like, you know, you've got all the recesses and the handles and what have you, and back of the roof's nicely proportioned, and yeah, just really chuffed. But you know, with these, you know, there were, you know, it came with interiors and, you know, chassis pans and what have you. Yeah, I probably wouldn't use them. They're, you know, but to produce a full kit, you know, that's an, you know, if somebody just wanted to do a curbside and have something simple, not have to mess about with scratch building anything, then, you know, that's great. But you know, we've got bumpers with it and stuff like that. Rear bumper on this one's moulded in, but the rear stainless is really nice and crisp and what have you, and the front grille doesn't, you know, is really nice as well. But yeah, I was really pleased with that, and like, you know, he didn't ask a lot of money for him. He actually, and I did ask him before I did this video whether he'd want to go into printing some more for people if they asked on this, but you know, he's really just doing this as his own hobby, and you know, he was just printing a few extras just to make fund a few more files. He's really into 3D printing, really into British cars and British hot rod history and what have you, and but yeah, I was really chuffed with that. But yeah, it goes to show where we are, like 25, 30 years later. I mean, this is still a great body, to be quite fair, but I've never really wanted to do anything with it, to be quite honest with you, and I probably won't do anything with this one either, in all honesty. You know, I think if I was going to do one, I'd build this one. You know, the print lines aren't harsh or anything, you know, they're there, but you know, I think it's always my worry with 3D printed bodies, but by the time you've got rid of all the lines, you've lost all the detail as well, and I think there's enough, it's not, you know, you can work with that. So, but again, you know, it done me all window templates and stuff like that for him, you know, for the side glass and all this kind of carry on. So, but yeah, I mean, so he did me one of those, and I did see his other posts, like when I started checking out his other posts and what have you, he was building a Mark II console. And I did ask him if he would print me one of those, and the console was like the base model. You had the console, and then you had the Mark II, or the Mark II console, then Mark II Zephyr was like midline, and the Zodiac, which was that one, you know, was the top of the line, so to speak. But you know, this one comes with a separate hood, which is nice. Again, really, you know, really true to the car as well as this one likes. You know, I'm really happy with that, and you know, this one came with he printed all the grills and separate headlamps. You know, all the headlamp surrounds are in there as well. So, but the one I want to do out of this is the one he was actually building, and I couldn't find. I know he had the magazine, but it was the first issue of Street Machine, and I just couldn't find it in time before the video, and I just couldn't be bothered sort of raking around for another hour trying to find it. But you know, this is the car I want to do. Really iconic, hot rod back in the day, or street rod, Street Machine, whatever you want to call it. But this was the cover car on the first issue of Street Machine. Yeah, just a really, really nice sort of street gasser style hot rod, so to speak. And you know, I'd love to build that for this channel one day when I get a bit of time. And you know, I think the way Andrew's building is because he's so into 3D printing. His 3D print is pretty much going to build the full model out of 3D printed stuff. Whereas I'll just use what I can, to be quite honest, and get something like. And But yeah, again, that came with a interior and stuff like that. And you know, Andrew, if you're watching, thanks a million for those. I'm really pleased with those. Hopefully one day we'll get round to them, like. But kind of brings me on to a few other bits and pieces, you know, which I've kind of got recently. And yeah, this was another one. Ford Anglia. I know Martin Dare mentioned in one of my other videos that he used to race Anglias, and shortly after I found this one just came up on eBay, and I kind of just bid on it. I mean, probably bid too much to be quite fair, but you know, it's just, I think this is Air Tracks. Was it Air Tracks? I think it was a Finnish company who put these out. Did quite a few British bodies, and foreign body, like sort of obscure Ferraris and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. But this is a really nice thing as well, and you know, a hell of a lot of cleanup on this type of resin, you know. And this is how they come. You got a quite, you know, like the Zodiac, you know, it's quite thick resin, so a hell of a lot of work to get it looking something like. But and I don't really know what I'd do with that, to be quite honest with you. You know, how I'd go about building it. But this was a full kit as well. You know, it's interiors in there, and you got all the interior panels and the bumpers, and I think it's potentially got a grill in here and bits and pieces, and all the stock wheels and hubcaps and what have you. I think this one's actually missing a wheel, or it's a tyre and a wheel, I think. So I'd probably have to cast it myself if I could ever be bothered to do that, if I ever built it stock or anything. But yeah, just another nice one. I think when Martin mentioned it and I saw this, just out of coincidence, because these don't come up very often, like, either. I remember my dad, we had an old Honda Civic, like a really early Honda Civic or something like that, like one of the late 70s ones. I don't know if they were Civics back then, but broke down, I think, and then he ended up making it into a police car, which we sat in, and then I think he cut the back end off it and grafted some Ford Anglia rear quarter panels and made a trailer in it. I remember there's all being ferried about in the back of this trailer. I mean, you wouldn't get that nowadays. And I mean, I've probably got a photo. My parents have probably still got a photo of that thing somewhere, but I always remember my dad grafting the Ford Anglia rear fins onto that trailer he made, and then I just remember it in compost heap all cut up, chops it up in the end. Like, you know, he does like to chop stuff up, my dad, like, and you know, I think every car he's had has ended up in pieces, chopped up on the compost heap at some point. But this is one I've probably had the longest. I bought this as a built-up, and I think this possibly might be an Air Tracks. I'm not too sure what the origins of this body is, but this is a resin body, and somebody built it as like a gasser, so to speak. But yeah, it was all falling apart, cracking and what have you. But yeah, and paint wasn't great on it. But to be quite honest, when I do this, you know, I want to keep this thing, like, Mark 1, this is a Mark 1 Cortina. Take that scoop off it and probably do something like the 1/32 kit I did for last year, small scale group build, another sort of 70s hot rod. But yeah, this has got, it's luckily got all the grill, like stock grill and bumpers unused, and other bits and pieces. I think the bits in here are just, you know, what's fallen off the original build, like, and yeah, the engine and other wheel and what have you. But yeah, there's enough in there to complete the model, you know, which you didn't use. But yeah, that's another nice one I thought, like, and I've had, like I say, that was on eBay and that sold for next to nothing years ago, like, and or in the price range, which I thought was kind of next to nothing. But yeah, so the next lot we're going to look at, We'll probably end video on these unless I've got a bit of time to show an extra couple of resin bits and pieces I've got in recently. But like I was saying, I built this thing for the small scale as a sort of extra side project for the small scale group build, and this turned into a massive project and more of the main project. But this was from a seller, and I'm going to put his link in the description because we're going to show quite a bit of his stuff here. Probably got like a third of what, maybe not even a third, maybe a quarter of what he actually produces. But I was so impressed with the 3D print on these. I thought they were actually resin casts, because they need next to no work at all to get into primer and paint. And but yeah, I found another one and all the ones I'm showing, I bought at auction when he occasionally puts them on at auction, and they go for quite a bit less than what he has them listed on. But if you're waiting and buying them on auction, that auction style, be prepared that the ones he's listing there have probably got some minor faults, and that's why he's listing them as auctions. And if you want things which are absolute, and I can vouch for them, they are absolutely lovely prints, these. And there's barely any lines to even speak of on these. Very little to no lines at all, and it's almost like they've come prepped, to be quite fair. And this one took about 15-20 minutes to prep. There's a few areas, I don't know if it's the same on this one, it's hard to see through camera light, but I think on the one I built there was a few lines showing through just on edges at bumpers and what have you. But yeah, this is what I started with, and it just goes to show you can, with a bit of time, you can build a nice model out of these. I think I built this one with the frame which can pop off, which through camera I don't really want to do, but yeah, we just scratch built a chassis, and very basic, rudimentary, and that was my first attempt at any form of weathering whatsoever, and made it just so it clips on and off, it doesn't fall off when I'm not farting about with it. But yeah, that's you are just buying the bodies from this chap, and he doesn't know I'm doing this video at all. This is just for the fact that I really do like his stuff. But that's what we started. That was the first one that kind of made me want to buy a few more, and I've been keeping my eye out every now and again. But yeah, this is these are 1/32. This is a 1/24 Morris Minor. Again, absolutely beautiful bit of casting is this, or 3D printing should I say. Keep on saying casting because they're so nice, but again, you got really nice see-through door handles with recess. I can't just quite get it enough to focus in on that, but you can see there's barely any prep needed on these, and it doesn't seem like a harsh resin to use. It's like when you're working with this style resin, you know about it when you're sanding it, and and I'm not one for PPE and all that kind of carry on, but stuff like that, I would definitely use a mask and what have you. And not saying you shouldn't use a mask on these when you're prepping these, but just really nice gaps in the bumpers as well. It's not like it's one block of resin. Everything's really nice and crisp. Like I say, I will put a link to this chap's eBay. It will be UK eBay, so it might not be visible. So if you put a link in, just go onto the UK website, and if you fancy one, if you're from the US, then see if it'll ship and go from there. But just really nice little body is that one. Some of my favourite builders of all time, there's a chap called Rick Mason. I don't think he used his actual casting, but he built a beautiful weathered Pro Street. Rick Mason, you would have seen him on Facebook pages. He's probably, I would say, like world leading class, like world class weatherer. He's my favourite weatherer of model cars and stuff like that. Everything looks so realistic, and I sent Sean a few pictures of his work, but and I think Sean was a bit blown away with his work as well, how realistic it is, his junkyard diorama and stuff. And another chap called Keith Tripp in the UK, he built some really nice British hot rods, and I think he's done a Traveller, a Morris Traveller, and I think he's done one of these as well. Like, a lot of inspiration for them. Whether I'd get round to actually doing that I really don't know. Like, but just shove some of these along, because we're gonna be running out of space very, very shortly. Like, I'll just plonk that one at the back, and then another 124, because he doesn't do many 124ths, this chap. Mainly 132nd for slot cars and stuff like that. But this was, really sort of a car which I remember from back in my day. My brother, this is a Mk11 Granada, Ford Granada, and this is 1/24 scale as well. And this needs a bit, it needs a bit of the lines need sharpening up. Very easy to scribe is this material. I think I scribed the full front bumper off, like, and it took a while to get through, but it's really easy. So it wasn't like it was grainy material. Took the scriber really well, so refining the door lines and stuff like that. I wouldn't be too worried about doing that kind of work on these if you wanted to make a really nice model and boot line and trunk line, so to speak. That they need a bit more scribing and what have you, but it's not a bad proportion. I keep on thinking his roof a bit high, but in all fairness, I can't really remember the car too much. And but my brother had a really nice black X pack. I remember, I would really wish we still had that. Well, he had that car about, and I'm sure he does as well. Like, but I remember going in that car a few times with him. Lovely car. I remember the black leather and stuff like that. But this is what he raced for on the banger track and on the banger scene for a long time. It was a favourite for bangers, was this one, and I think they're pretty much gone through them all now, to be quite fair. There's not many left on the road, and ones that are very, very expensive, like, as of most Fords are. But I was thinking about it last year or year before, potentially getting one myself, until I saw prices of them and thinking that'll never happen now. Like, but that first say, a lot of these are just really good bodies for slot cars and sort of stock car racing type builds or curbsides, and it would take I think to build a stock one out of this to get an interior right and stuff like that, it'd probably be more work than I'd want to do. Like, so don't know what the fate is with that one, but it probably, a lot of this stuff I'll probably just end up giving away, to be quite fair, at some point or another, because I realise I won't be able to do it. But these are all 1/32 scale ones. These this is a Mk11 Granada estate. Again, really nice, but all these are really nice bodies. But like I say, some of these might have just minor flaws, which is why they've been auctioned off, like, rather than asking the prices he usually does. But because I think they're around 18 to 22 quid each, these bodies, if you want a really nice one out of the printer, I suppose. But again, they really don't know what type of resin he uses and what processes he goes through to get this kind of finish. But yeah, they just barely need that. They just need a bit of a tickle here and there, and then you can just prime and paint them and detail them up. If you want a nice, really obscure little small scale model or slot car, and you know, I did like the estate. I mean, I like estates of anything, to be quite honest with you. But this was probably my favourite shape of Granada, the Mark 1. The Mark 1 coupe, especially. Would absolutely love to have a Mark 1 coupe, to be quite fair, you know, probably in bronze or something like that, with a black vinyl roof. And this is why I think I'll probably never build one of these, because, you know, I think I'd want to build one stock and then I'd have to find somebody who'd print correct wheels for it and stuff. But you know, all of them probably need, like the Granadas, probably need a bit of clear on the headlamps and what have you. You know, because they all come with sort of just the backings for the headlamps, and you just put a bit of clear over them. But yeah, just a really nice proportioned body is that, and like I say, my favourite body style of the Ford Granada. And I know there's a lot more desirable Fords, but I think, you know, if I was to if I could choose a Ford, I'd probably like a 70s Ford. It'd probably be one of those, to be quite honest with you. Just a really nice body style was that like. And yeah, I'll just plot that one on there. But he does some really obscure stuff as well. You know, we've got a princess hearse of all things. And I bought these just because they were so, like, yeah, they were so cheap. I thought it'd just be good to make a video out of at some point. I've just been buying one or two here or there over the last 6 months, I think, and yeah, just seeing what tickles me fancy or what tickles me wallet, and what's cheap enough for me wallet, like. And because, like I say, I'm probably a realist. I probably will never get round to doing any of this small scale stuff, like. But another good thing for a sort of banger racer. You know, a lot of hearses used in banger racing and what have you over here. So I can't imagine, yeah, too many people want to build that stock. But again, good basis for a small scale pro street or something. The Austin 3 litre. Yeah, these were big old cars back in the day. But yeah, I mean, just try and get a bit more, block out some of that back view. But you know, just really nice detail all over. And these ones, I think my mum had, I can't remember, it wasn't this model is the one with single headlamps, and I just can't think of which one it was, like. But you know, that make a nice tow car for this one. I was always thinking, like, doing the same colour as my mum's, because I don't think I was about when my mum had this one. I was very, very young. But there's one picture of the one she had, and it was in a metallic green and what have you. So that'd be a nice tow car for that thing. Quite fitting and era fitting, so to speak. And this was one of my favourites. Like, we are getting to the end of it, like, so don't worry. But I thought it was worth showing them while I've got them, like. And but another one, you know, if I want lottery, I think one of the cars I would buy if I won the lottery would be a Lotus Carlton. One thing I always loved the Vauxhall Carlton. I thought it was a really American looking car when it came out over here. But the Lotus Carlton was just a phenomenal car, and I really, if I ever did anything with that, it'd have to be his 40 RA. You know, it's a bit of a legend of a car, his 40 RA over here. If you're not into British cars or British history, then look up the history of 40 RA. You know, it was stolen from a chap, and then he sort of caught the robbers, the thieves, when while he was taking it, and he ran onto the street in his birthday suit and tried to stop him, and I think they cost him over the head or something, and then he ran and got his wife's car, or the second car, and they ended up ramming that. But this car was used in a lot of robberies in the UK back in the 90s. Legend has it, it was outrunning all the police cars at 170 miles per hour on the motorways, and they were so cocky with it. They robbed the place just round the corner from a police station, and the actual car ended up in a canal, I think it was, and there was a lot of hoo-ha about where it was, but there was I can't remember whose channel was it. He does a lot of histories on movie cars and where TV cars are nowadays, and he actually interviewed the original owner, and he said that he actually the car was in a scrapyard and it was absolutely gone. Somebody had hit the roof, and all the interior was obviously completely disintegrated from being in upside down in a canal, like. But yeah, I just really liked the Carlton and especially the Lotus Carlton. But you're looking at 70, 100 grand nowadays, 120 grand. I think I saw one. I saw one selling for. I don't know if he'd get that, like, but yeah, that's what he was asking. But they are super high value cars now. I've seen a couple of them in real life. Just really nice cars. Really, like I say, and I think it holds a bit of a legend as that car, like down to 40 RA, like. But yeah, just look up the history of that. It's a really interesting kind of history on that particular car, like. So, this is a kind of the last one out from this seller, an old Ford van. I think this was the most expensive one. I think this ended for the most at auction, like, and I bought this because I quite fancy doing the Italian job, the original Italian job, minibus. Do all the sort of football scarves and everything around it and what have you. I thought that'd be a really nice, but this is a really nice body, is this one. Yeah, just really nice body is that, and most of these come with steering wheels moulded in. This is probably one of the better ones. I've just got a cat on the workbench, so I'm just ushering him off a little bit, but yeah, this is probably one of the nicer steering wheels, I think. A lot of them come like that, and you're probably just best off cutting them off and either just hollowing them out yourself and then re-gluing them in a better position, like. I think I think that's another example of how they come, like. So if I was to build them, I would just cut them off and either put one of my own in or just like hollow out the centres. But this one's quite a nice cast, is that, like. But again, just needs it's so clear you just can't see or feel the lines. I'm not saying they don't need a bit of work, but if you're not that experienced, these are a good start, like. And make you something a little bit different for the display case, I suppose. But we're on 33 minutes. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go into anything else, to be quite honest with you. I think I've been rattling on enough for these, but I thought it'd just be good to just show what's happening this side of the pond, so to speak. And see a lot of American resin bodies and things like that, but I think I think these are a little bit different and what have you. And again, thanks to Andrew Milner for printing me those. I'd never sell them or anything like that. It's just they're just for me to probably look at for a number of years before I find the time to do them. But yeah, everything else and this guy here, and I did want to do a bit of a video on his, like, you know, I'm not, like I say, don't know I'm doing it, I'm certainly not sponsored or anything, that when you're producing really nice bodies like that, I think it's worth a mention, like, and, you know, if he does make a few extra sales because of it, you know, then good on him. You know, that's all we're here on YouTube to do, is just sort of share this stuff, and hopefully somebody else benefits from it, and quite rightly so with this chap, because, yeah, I mean, they're just really nice stuff, and I am a big... I mean, I don't think I'll be buying too many more, to be quite fair, just because I know I won't do anything with these, and they'll probably end up as gifts for people. You know, they're cheap enough for me to do that, like, for the small scale stuff and what have you. But, you know, maybe some of the bigger stuff, you know, the Morris and this one's more likely to get done maybe one day, if I could ever be bothered. I'd need a good idea for that. I mean, I was thinking doing that as just another banger racer, but, you know, I think we could probably do something a bit nice, maybe like an old 80s 90s Pro Street, something like that, something a bit different. But yeah, like I say, I was going to show another couple of bits, like, but, you know, I think we're running out of time here, and you know, if anything, I might show them in another video. But yeah, I think that we'll just call it a day at that, and you know, I think we'll have another video out or two at the weekend. Like I say, I am trying to get a few more videos out nowadays, and I did think it was Wednesday today, and I realised it's Thursday. I'm just doing a lot of cover. Shifts. I do, you know, I don't work for other people as much as I have been, but I've pretty much been working for other people solid for the last 2 weeks, and it's thrown me out a little bit. And this is a late one for me. You know, we're on probably 20 to 9 o'clock already, or something like that. So I'm usually not at the bench this time of night. But lastly, you know, thank you to all the subscribers of the channel, you know, all the supporters. You know, like I say, it means a great deal to me. You know, all the kind comments and stuff like that that we get over here, and, you know, hopefully you continue to enjoy it. We're gonna get another, like I say, get another couple of videos out shortly, and hopefully with some build progress. I've got a nice clear day tomorrow. I've worked pretty hard today to get everything sort of out of the way for tomorrow, so I'm gonna do a bit of building for the first time in a couple of weeks, like, and hopefully I'll get a video out to show what we've done on them. So yeah, whatever you're doing for the rest of the week, hope you have a good one, and we will see you at the weekend. Okay, see you, bye.